Well, there's no credible evidence led since we've been sitting here. The state is dismally failing to prove their case. And they are now in a disparate move and hoping to get something from Major General Zulu because they think that the other witnesses will not help their case. So you would have established through the engagement that from the downloading of the video and the police from the protection services coming to collect the video and saying the investigating officers will come and get copies, and you have that information not disclosed from the onset that the protection services took the video, and then from there the person who took the video says the video was not put in a evidence a bag in front of them, and then the other one coming to contradict the same witness that no, it was actually put in a witness evidence bags, to what we now heard that certain pictures were removed and not disclosed to either the court or the prosecuting authority or even the defense team why those pictures were removed. So it's a very clear conspiracy around the whole case that people want to arrive at a certain narrative. When you are a state witness or a witness in court, your role is to help the court arrive at a reasonable judgment. So you're not here to hide any information, but we can see that there's an intention to hide information.
Why do you think that there's an intention to hide evidence? I mean, there were those 23 photographs in that file, and there are now 11. Why do you think that someone would want to tamper with that evidence?
Because you must get Malema and Ndlozi guilty through any means necessary, by hook or crook. It doesn't matter. We don't have a case, but let's concoct, because perhaps those pictures that are removed are now proving something else which is not in the best interest of AfriForum and the ANC. And what is interesting is that the ANC, through the NPA, they are pursuing the same interest as the AfriForum. And it has been the same for quite some time, that the ANC shares some similar ideological perspective with the AfriForum. It comes as not a shock to us, because they even had a press conference together at some point in Gauteng. So you've got the right wing with the so-called former liberation movement working together to eliminate what they perceive as a political threat, not through honest political contestation, but through manipulation of law enforcement and abuse of the courts, because politically you can't defeat your opponent. So we're not shocked by really what's happening. We were clearly provoked. We had all the right to be there. No evidence till now is led to prove that we had no right to be there. The onus are on them to prove that we're not supposed to be there. We acted in an irresponsible manner, in a criminal manner, to a point of engaging in a common assault against a law enforcement officer. No one says this is the list of the people who are supposed to be there. No one says this is the planning officer who was responsible for the planning on that day. One of the officers from the Maupanag in Pretoria says, I've exonerated Venter through internal investigation. When he's asked, but did you make any effort to check if these people were rightfully there in order to arrive at whether Venter acted reasonably? He says, I should have considered that. But already Venter is exonerated. We are members of parliament, we are not just leaders of the EFF. He had responsibility to come to us and ask what really happened, so that when he arrives at a reasonable conclusion internally, he has spoken to everyone through Broskap, through Afrikaner white male arrangement, Butterbond arrangement. They exonerate each other without any attempt to gather as much information as possible to arrive at an objective conclusion. That's how our state is constituted. Shame on the ANC that has got its protection services run by apartheid policemen who have 36 years, 46 years in service. Those are the people who are responsible for planning and looking after big events which involves head of state in South Africa and other heads of states from outside South Africa. The enemy agent, there is no white policeman who can, white Afrikaner male apartheid policeman who can say with clear conscience, I've never killed black people. They were shooting randomly and people died and he doesn't know where his bullet landed. So all of them are guilty of murder of black people. Those are the people who look after ANC leaders as we speak today.
Mr. Malema, you speak of murder. Just today there was a civilian pedestrian who was murdered outside Wits University while students were protesting. As the economic freedom fighters, you released a statement. But as a party, what will you be doing actively going forward to make sure that that person who died, they don't die in vain, and those who shot him, those police officers, are held accountable?
Well, we are sending our condolences to the family of the deceased, a person who was killed innocently. He was not involved even in the peaceful protest. Even if he was, there was no reason to kill him. So we want to first send our condolences to the family. We'll get to the bottom of this. We'll get justice for that person. We want the police officer who killed this person to be held accountable. And we want SAPS itself to pay more money for acting irresponsibly. This country is going to wake up very late. Your love for white people will make you realize that we are actually in a more dangerous situation. There was a life-threatening incident in Senegal where live ammunition were shot at innocent women who were sitting inside court buildings. No single rubber bullet was shot. Here you've got young kids who are protesting for education, not for beers, not for festival, not for freshers' ball. They are fighting to be registered so that they can be educated and graduate to unemployment. They get killed by the ANC because the ANC is led by a man who killed innocent souls in Marikana. They have no respect for black life, and they kill black people with ease because they've got no respect for black people. And what is even more, discouraging is that you've got kids who are marching wearing ANC t-shirts. These are the same people who support the same government that kills them. And you have EFF people joining the same people with I will never march with an ANC person against an ANC, because I must just know that this one is not genuine. He's marching because they want the votes of the SRC. They are not genuine. That struggle was led by the EFF from the beginning of this year in that university, demanding that the kids must be registered. You march with people who are in power, and when police shoot at you, you want to blame police who are presided over by the ANC government, which has left the apartheid policing system intact and never tampered with. Because we should by now be having the people's police. The police who, when they see innocent children, they immediately sympathize with them. But not these blue uniformed, bloody thirsty police who are cowards, who always want to show their bravery by killing harmless souls, unarmed children, the same way apartheid did. There's nothing to salute with this police who kill innocent children, who shoot at innocent children, children who are thirsty and hungry for education. And these are the people who are told we must salute them for doing a good job, nonsense good job of killing our own children. We must never salute South African police. They are cowards. They must first fall in love with the people of South Africa. Then it will not be easy to shoot at children. What happened to those water cannons? What happened to the shields to push the children back? What happened to the public order policing? Bloody illiterates who have no idea what it means to control crowds. They think black people can only be controlled with pain and blood, because that's what apartheid did when it viewed black people. And we will never be part of saluting such nonsense.
Mr. Malema, just another question from me. You recently had tea Ngandla with former President Jacob Zuma, and you two have had a broken relationship over the past couple of years. Would you say that you two have now mended your relationship?
I've got no relationship with President Zuma. I went to have a meeting with him to discuss matters of national interest. And before you ask me what are those matters of national interest, you must ask Zondo to tell you what were matters of national interest he discussed with Zuma, a judge. Till today, you have never been told what was Zuma and Zondo discussing. The whole sitting judge going to the house of politicians to discuss matters of national interest. Before you get that answer from Zondo, I will never answer that question because I have no obligation to tell you. But no judge should be going to houses of politicians. In his own admission, Zondo says, I went to discuss with Zuma matters of national importance. Zondo is not being asked, what is a judge doing in the house of a politician? If a judge has got a matter of national importance to discuss with a politician, let it be discussed publicly. What is it that Zondo finds comfort to discuss with Zuma exclusively, which he can share with the nation? So I have no relationship with Zuma. I meet whoever I want. And no one has got a diary. I have no PA, by the way, who controls my diary. I control my own diary. Not even my wife controls my diary. No one will ever control who I meet. I meet anyone I want to meet as long as I know it is in the best interest of our country, then I will do it. And if it means going to meet with Zuma again, I will go. No one can stop me from doing that. I have no personal relationship with Zuma. I have no political relationship with Zuma. But in a democracy like ours, issues must be resolved through engagement, including with our own enemy forces. By the way, Samkelo, I've got no blood, any bad blood with my exes, all of them. I'm that type. So I hold no bitter grudges about anything that happened in the past. I still engage openly and frankly.
When it comes to the issues, particularly with former President Jacob Zuma, just to take the nation into confidence, what are those issues of national importance that you discussed with him, and did he heed your advice that you were giving to him, and what was the importance of having senior counsel advocate Dalimpofu there?
Well, I said it, let Zondo tell you first. If Zondo answers that question, what is it that he was discussing with Zuma as a sitting judge with a politician at night in the house of a politician? For as long as Zondo has not answered that question, I'm not at any liberty to tell you what I discussed with Zuma. So Dalimpofu is a leader of the EFF in his own right. And from time to time you will see him represent the EFF or go as a delegation of the EFF. He has never denounced his membership of the EFF. So he was part of my delegation to go and meet Msholozi and have tea with Msholozi, the former president. Whether somebody likes it or not is their own problem. When I go to meet Zuma, the Tumamina media group says Malema is planning a fight back with Zuma against Ramaphosa. But when the top six goes and meet Zuma, they are not planning a fight back against Ramaphosa. The hypocrisy of this country will never get to me. I know you. Same thing is done. I open the doors. They are all scared to go and meet Zuma and tell him what we want to tell him on his face. In a very charged meeting for 3 hours, where you could touch tensions with your hand. We tell each other our issues like that. They are all scared to do that. Once Malema is gone, they all follow, like Casey and Jojo, because they've got no plan. Then Malema comes back, hey, Malema is planning with Zuma to collapse Ramaphosa. The same Ramaphosa and the ANC do exactly what Malema did. There is no headline that, no, Malema, A top 6 is planning to collapse Cyril because they want to meet with Zuma. When we criticize the judges on how the judges must conduct themselves, they are attacking the judges. When the whites attack, the white former judges attack Klope. No. It's not attack on judges. Klope must be taken to all types of things. There are certain rules for others and certain rules for others. It's not going to work with me. You can hate me for that. That nonsense will never get to me. I'm going to pursue collectively with the leadership of the EFF what is in the best interest of this country and the generations to come after us. History will absolve us. Thank you.